Hello and welcome back. This is Richard Golson, and we're going to take a look at Lab 04, configuring and deploying a virtual machine. Part 2, install a guest operating system. So in this task, as is clear from the name, we're going to install the operating system. Now we have the virtual machine already set up over here, but no OS installed on that. You can see that we'll be installing a Linux-based virtual machine, in Ubuntu Linux. We're going to use that Xubuntu operating system. You'll also notice that it's not currently running. It has no IP address. None of this is configured. So let's go ahead and get this started. So we take a look over here in the instructions. We're going to go ahead and select the virtual machine and then power it on. And by doing so, that should allow us to then access the remote console where we'll use a remote console for the operating system installation. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'll go ahead and right click on here and go power on. And give this a moment. You'll notice that we've got the power on virtual machine in our recent tasks. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and click on my launch remote console. You can see that's already started there. That'll open up a new browser tab, and then we'll see a window pop up on top. Give it a moment. And there it is. And so we can see that it's doing it's reading the setup files for this. Now, at this point, I could cancel this, but do note a couple things. It says right here to grab an input, press Control-G. Because the VMware tools are not installed on here, that means that in some cases we're going to have to use keyboard keystrokes to release our mouse from the virtual machine or get it to connect back into it. It just finished the check of the file and said there's no error, so we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and click on the install Xubuntu graphic once it loads. Just give it a moment. Here we go. It could take a few minutes. We'll let that load up. So if you take a look over here on the right hand side, we'll be installing the Xubuntu. You can use the try Xubuntu. Avoid doing that for this case, but that's kind of a handy way of not installing the operating system into the virtual machine, but still being able to run it, and it would actually use the disk files. We're going to use the install. So we'll go ahead and hit the install button and give it a moment. All right, and then for many of these pages, we'll just go ahead and accept the defaults. We'll go ahead and hit the continue. Since our virtual machine environment is sandboxed, these pods are sandboxed, we can't really download any updates. So just leave these unchecked and hit the continue. In normal practice, you might go ahead and do that and allow that all the updates to occur so we'd have the most current version. And we'll go ahead and accept the default, which is to erase the disk and install Xubuntu. And we'll hit the install now. We'll need to confirm that we're going to write the changes to the disk. This is destructive writing, meaning that if there were anything on that virtual machine disks, they would be inaccessible after this. So we'll hit the continue. And then note the time zone says New York. Let's leave that because I believe the data center itself is configured for New York. So we'll leave it at the default here. Oh, I just did notice in the instructions it did say that we can choose anything we want. I'm going to leave it on the New York defaults. I'll go ahead and hit the continue. Now for this lab, we'll go ahead and use these settings here. For the name, don't put your name in. Go ahead and type in sysadmin. And then for the computer name, We'll change this to match up with the virtual machine name, VM2-2. And so this will be the name that's consistent with the virtual machine itself, and the domain vclass.local. Down below here, we'll go ahead and put in a password. We'll use the default password that we've been using with everything, which is the VMware 123 and VMware 123. Okay. And the password is acceptable. Note it says require my password to log in. We'll leave that on there. Hit the continue button. And then it'll run through the installation. I'm going to go ahead and pause this video. When we come back, we'll take a look. Okay, through the magic of video pause, we can see now our installation is complete. That took a couple minutes. And so I need to restart the computer. And we'll note in the instructions that we will be restarting the computer. But before we do that, we're going to, or after we do that, we're immediately going to eject the installation CD. So you'll notice at the top of the window here, before I hit the restart button, I just want to show you that when I click on this virtual machine button here, and I can see under virtual machine settings, bringing that up will bring this window, which I can then choose my CD DVD drive 1. Notice that it's connected currently to the remote server, and I will need to change that, and I'm going to change that to local client. And then make sure that I use a physical drive is selected, and so we're going to be changing this to local client and then using a physical drive like that. So I've already got that set up, and I'm going to hit cancel, and we'll come back and do this. What I want to do is do the restart, and then while it's restarting, I'm going to make that change. So I'll hit my restart button here. And then what I'll do is come over to virtual machine settings, drop into my CD DVD drive, change it to local client, use a physical drive, hit save. Give it a moment. It locked it. I'm going to disconnect anyways because we're done with it. And so the idea behind this is we're no longer connected to that ISO, because once the operating system is installed on the virtual machine, we really don't need to connect to the ISO. Okay, if I come back over here, you can see I have Firefox is actually closed. I'll go ahead and expand that. It's not closed, but I had minimized it. And we can see here, if I refresh this, my virtual machine is running. Right. Shows that it is powered on. And you can see my CPU and memory use and storage. Storage is very minimal. I actually overstated. I said that it was going to take about 2 to 4 gigabytes. It's actually using only 1 gigabyte. You'll note that that console no longer displays that operating system. So I'll go ahead and close this console like that. And close this tab here. And then I can launch that remote console again. Let's see if we can get that to display the login screen. Just give it a moment. Sometimes takes a little while for this to show up. I'm going to pause until it comes back up. Here you can see that the operating system is presenting a login screen for the new virtual machine. And we'll be able to go ahead and log in on the next step. Now, if for some reason you're not presented with this window, it's a pretty simple fix. Go ahead and just close the console, close the tab, and then from the virtual machine, go to power, and you can just go ahead and power it off. And that does a hard shutdown. And then you can go ahead and power it on. Also take note that there are some power buttons over here, so I can hit the power up button here. That'll power it up. And then once it's fully powered up, you can go ahead and hit the launch remote console window or button here to open up the remote console. And here I can see that it's powering up. And if I wait long enough, there's my login screen. All right, when we come back, we'll go into part 2, which is, or part 3, installing the VMware tools. We'll see you then.